And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Nestor Games makes some interesting games. They come in these little pencil case type things, and you can recognize which game is which by the markings on the end. Some of them are fantastic two-player games, and others, well, others just aren't. I'm going to talk about one of those today called Querni. Querni comes in a little bag here with a 16 on the end. It's on a little mouse pad board. It's basically a abstract strategy style game with numbers. Let me show you how it works. The very first thing you do is you'll take tiles from each player's color that are numbered from 1 to 16, and you place them randomly around these opening spots on the board. Now this is where I have, I guess, my initial problem with the game, is that I'm not sure why this is so random. And I guess, you know, part of that I understand is random, because if not, you'd have the same game every time. But this really can favor one of the players if they get their numbers in a better position than the other player. Because this is a race game, in a sense, where you're trying to get all your tiles off the board before the other player. So there's really no real, randomizing factor that will stop it. Whoever gets in the best, whoever gets in the best starting position, if players are equally skilled, then whoever has the best starting position is going to win the game. On your turn, you can move a piece. There's two different ways you can move a piece. Simply, you can move it one space in any direction, diagonally or orthogonally, or you can jump over another piece. So say, for example, this 12 wanted to move over here, he could jump diagonally. In fact, if you set it up properly, you can do more than one jump. So this guy could jump, let's say there was this piece here, he could jump here, and then he could jump here, and if this was free, he could jump there. You can even change directions as you jump. So why, Tom Vasel, do you move all these pieces around? Why do you move your numbers around in various positions? And the answer is because you want to get chains of numbers. If you get a chain of consecutive numbers of your color, let's say you have, for example, here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like thus. That forms a chain, and at the end of your turn, you can simply take that chain off the board. Get all your pieces off the board, and you win. Now, you must be careful. A chain must be at least 3 numbers, so you cannot take off, for example, 12, 13, and 14, because then how would you be able to take off 15 or 16? I wondered if the chains might cycle through, but the rules don't say anything about that. It would make sense, though, if 16 was able to be next to 1. But regardless, folks, that's the game. You just move the numbers around, trying to get chains, and you're trying to move faster than the other person. For me, this game had a very similar feel to that of Chinese checkers, where you're trying to set up and get a big jump, and sometimes it's best to move a piece as fast as you can to where you can take a chain off the board, and other times you're simply just trying to think ahead and pull off jumps. You can wait and take off all your tokens at one time, 1 through 16, or you can take off 1 through 4, then 5 through 8. It's up to you. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing your opponent can do to stop you other than maybe move his tokens out of the way so that you can't do your fancy jumping. I like the pieces. The idea is thematic, but I found that I could do the exact same thing as a person playing by myself with this game than I could playing against somebody else. Yeah, I can maybe prove that I can get these numbers in order faster than you, but this almost feels like a board game version of Racco, which I'm not a big fan of. Again, trying to get these things in a particular order, but your starting position is so random that this cerebral game, which it is, just doesn't really seem like it comes across as something I want to play again.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.